In this series we're going to be using Eclipse to do our Java programming. So to download Eclipse, first go to eclipse.org and click on Downloads. This will bring you to the Downloads page, and you just need to click whichever download is most appropriate for your operating system. So I'll be going straight for Windows 64-bit. If you do follow this series and you do enjoy using Eclipse, I would encourage you to donate to the Eclipse Foundation. Even if it's only $5, it will help them keep this software going. So now that that's downloaded, you can just click on this and extract this folder to somewhere on your computer. It's simply a matter of copying and pasting everything in here, or rather extracting it across to somewhere on your computer. When all of the files have moved across onto your computer, just double click on eclipse.exe and that will start the program. There's no installation process for Eclipse, as you would find with a lot of other programs. Eclipse will then ask you where you want to save all of the files that you're going to create. So just select a folder on your computer where you know you're going to be able to keep the files. And this is what Eclipse looks like. So I'm just going to close off the screen. And here's Eclipse itself. So this is the Package Explorer. This is where all of the actual files within every project will be displayed, like the Explorer bar in Windows Explorer. This is the main screen. This is where all of the code will be displayed. Here's the outline. This will give you an outline of all of the functions within the file that you're looking at the time. And then at the bottom we've got another couple of windows, but we'll go into more detail about them later on. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new project. And for this one I'm just going to call it test. So it uses the default location, which is within the directory that you created Eclipse. If you're going to use Java 7, this should be 1.7. If you're going to use Java 8, this should be 1.8. I'm just going to leave that as 1.7 for now. Something I always make sure to do is to create separate folders for sources and class files. Java will create a lot of compiled files as you're going through it, and it's a lot easier and a lot cleaner to keep your raw source files separate to the actual class files that Java creates. So there's a lot of other options within this, but most of them we're not going to go through until a lot later in the course. So you can just click next. Now we've got test over here, and source, which is where all of our source files will go. So if you click new and class, this will create a new file within that folder that we've created. So we're just going to call this main. Something that Java does, which you may or may not find useful, is it allows you to pre-populate new classes with the main method. We're going to do that this time, but in later classes we may not do this. And here's our main file, our first file. If you look in the workspace here, you can see this is the test folder for the main project that we've just created called test. And within that we've got this src, which corresponds to this src folder here. And so within that we've got test, which is this is called the package. We'll discuss this a lot later on as well. And then we've got main, which is the actual file. So that's exactly the same as this, except it's got that comment in it still. So because we haven't gone through any of the main class yet, I'm just going to copy and paste this code across. We will go through this code in the first real lecture entitled Variables. But I just want to show the fact that this is now running. You're able to make your own project now. So if you just click the play button there, you'll see that we've got a console down here which tells us 13, and all this code is doing is adding number 1, which is 6, and number 2, which is 7, adding these together into total and then printing that out, which is 13. We'll look at this more in the next tutorial.